Volleyball season is back on the main line, and inside a packed Jake Nevin Fieldhouse tonight, the Villanova Wildcats have their first of 3 matches in the Villanova Classic. They'll be hosting the Yale Bulldogs tonight inside the friendly confines of the Nevin Fieldhouse. Good evening, happy to have you with us. I'm Sam Cooperman, that's Nick Montaigne, and Nick, a 2-0 Villanova Wildcats team wins over Notre Dame and Santa Clara to kickstart the season. High expectations for Josh Steinbach's group.
It's nice to be the narrator, and the prologue is that Villanova has a star-studded team back for this year. You think they were good last year as freshmen. All the super sophomores are even better this year, which means Villanova is a prime player for this season.
And the Big East is certainly on the lookout for that. Let's see how the Wildcats were projected in our preseason poll. And the coaches have Villanova as the number 5 team coming into the season. Creighton and Marquette predictably up top. And then it gets very, very interesting in this conference poll.
Only 4 teams make the Big East tournament this year, whereas Villanova got in as the number 6 seed in each of the last 2 years. But I don't think anybody had on their bingo card that Kirsten Bernstall-Booth would leave Creighton and that Ryan Tice would leave Marquette to take the Florida job. So suddenly, the Big East looks a lot different this year.
Meanwhile, the Ivy League, the H&8, Yale, the 3-time defending champs, are predictably the preseason number 1 with Princeton right on their heels.
A lot like Creighton and Marquette dominating the Big East every year, Yale and Princeton have been the 2 dominant teams in the Ivy each and every season.
These teams played a tight 5-setter in New Haven last year. Let's see how they match up tonight here at Villanova. When we return, Villanova, Yale, volleyball inside a packed house here on YouTube.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJ.
At the Nevin Fieldhouse, we're ready to go tonight. Volleyball, Villanova and Yale. The starters for the Wildcats, Campbell McKinnon, Alyssa Nelson, Mary-Kate Ritterbush, Abby Harrell, Lola Buck-Taylor, and Reagan McGivern. This young Wildcats team going up against a Bulldogs team with a lot of change as well. Ava Poinsett, Laurice Abraham, Aria Jew, Lauren Kellen, and Bethany Wu are the starters, as you see Josh Steinbach, the winningest coach in Wildcat history.
And Josh will continue to use a 6-2 for this year, which we've seen a lot. Alyssa Nelson, the sophomore setter, and one of the freshmen, you'll see Ava Harris.
Big swing from Harrell. Was that touched? No, it was not. So Yale takes the first point of this one.
Coach Steinbach has been so happy with this group. Good preseason, everybody's healthy, and as we said in the open, they all got stronger in the offseason. Can you imagine Abby Harrell getting even better? Well, she has.
2-time Big East first teamer is Abby Harrell, the 2023 Big East Freshman of the Year. So Yale with the 1-0 lead in white, and the left-handed swing from Goodnow goes long. Even score.
So if we talk setters, you know I'm a setter junkie, Coop. So talking with Aaron Appleman, the longtime Yale coach, they graduate Carly Deal, All-American kid, Ivy Player of the Year 2 years ago. So they're very high on their new setters. They're going with Bethany Wu, a highly recruited kid, number 22 out of Texas. So she's coming off a knee injury, and she hasn't played at this level yet. And I think we have an early challenge.
So the call on the court was that went long from Goodnow, which it did. So I think the question is, was that touched, unless there was another violation to speak of? And it does not look like anything's changing. So scoreboard 1-1 still. Off the Harrell serve. Big swing through the middle. Yale with the point, Laurice Abraham.
So that's what Yale has back. Two awesome middles, Larice Abraham, number 4 out of Detroit, and Gigi Barr, a senior who's had some big matches against Nova before. And you saw 44 in the middle, Villanova's new toy to play with, Reagan McGivern, an awesome young middle.
Service error will even things at 2-2. That was Bethany Wu serving there. So in a 6-2, and you lose a 4-time All-Ivy setter in Carly Deal. That's obviously a spot to fill, and as Nick just mentioned, Bethany Wu looking like she'll pair in there. Let's see if Villanova can get a point here. McKinnon may have missed time to jump, but it does not matter. Wildcats up 3-2.
The reason Villanova beat UConn in the Big East tournament, Campbell McKinnon. She went crazy. Nobody could stop her. It was Thanksgiving. Everybody was ready to eat their turkey, and McKinnon had an awesome Big East tournament.
Buck-Taylor lays out. Lola Buck-Taylor, the sophomore libero for Villanova, taking center stage with a couple nice digs. Harrell back row attack. And that was not touched. It's a Yale point.
You saw the improvement right there of Lola Buck-Taylor. Elizabeth Fesco graduates, so now it's Lola Buck-Taylor's turn to be the primary libero, and she's healthier this year, and Coach Josh is very happy with her preseason, and she's looked excellent so far.
Off the Kellen serve for Yale. Back set. And Villanova keeps it alive. Good now, the point.
Yale has won a lot of matches because of Betsy Goodnow. There are a lot of lefties in this tournament this weekend, Coop, and Betsy Goodnow's as good as it gets from the Kansas City area. Marvelous talent.
Yale in system. They set the middle. And Villanova will go to Harrell. Easy put away. Kat Young.
A lot of Texas kids this weekend. Kat Young is one of them. Awesome sophomore out of Dallas. Eagles just got by with a win last night, right, Coop? After a long delay and a lot of other fireworks that happened. But a lot of Texas kids this weekend, a lot of Dallas kids. Kat Young was good last year. She got even stronger, worked her tail off in the offseason, and she's even better this year.
Out of Flower Mound High School. She was a regular for the Cats last year and looks to be this year as well. Big block. And that's a point for Yale. They cover the middle, and Abraham shades over with some help. That's what Goodnow did last year, and Ivy League first teamer. She had 10 or more kills in every single match last year.
And a career high 22 kills against Nova, and she was the Ivy tourney MVP. And here's Ava Harris, the freshman setter.
It's a Yale point, so as Nick just mentioned, Ava Harris out of Angola, Indiana. She had a nice start to the season for Villanova.
And played for a big-time club team, Coop, so she's ready for prime time as a rookie.
Aria Ju serves it away. As Harris sets, and Young delivers.
So it's the same system for this year for Nova, just plugging in some new players. You have Ava Merton, the transfer. She'll play the right side where Riley Homer used to be. And now that Taylor Jacobowski graduates from her grad year, you plug in Ava Harris to your new setter role. And talking with Josh in his office this week, he likes this group again, and they've all fit together early on.
And they're going to call a net violation there. It's a Villanova point. And to that a little more, you mentioned at the top of our show, Nick, the fact that, I mean, this young Wildcats team is so impressive. 5 of the 6 in their freshman class from last year, starters coming into the season.
Yeah, they all played like veterans last year, and you're not surprised that they had a good year because Josh was high on them last August. And you see what they did, making the postseason in the Big East tournament and beating UConn in 5 sets. But Yale's a good team every year. I know they're a little bit new this year. I want to see how their new setter plays, and this is their first match of the year. The Ivy teams always start a week behind everybody.
So off the Goodnow serve. Harrell, big swing for the point.
You saw there Ava Harris. She can push the ball very easily. The game comes very naturally to her. Watching her tape, she's able to push that cross court, and she's a lot like Alyssa Nelson. They hit the home run feed. Look how easy and accurate she is. And Abby Harrell, she went and played beach volleyball this summer and improved her game big time.
Wu with the bump set. And Young the dig in the back row. Another Harrell swing, but the middle was ready for it. Block clean from Gigi Barr.
Yeah, Gigi Barr is an awesome blocker out of Chicago. One of those veterans that Aaron Appleman just raves about. And they're a little bit young. It's not just Carly Deal, Kara Schultz, a Philly kid, Mila Yarich. We're talking about really productive players. Kara Schultz, one of their best serving kids ever. They have a lot to replace for Yale.
Well, you only get them for 4 years, and in the Ivies, it's a true 4 years you only get them for. So you win 3 conference titles in a row. You can only keep that group together for so long.
And Yale hit 277 last year, Coop. That was the best ever in a single season for a Yale volleyball team. And Aaron's had good teams for years.
Aaron Appleman, under her leadership, 14-time Ivy champs. 13 of them have come since she took over. As Yale having some trouble with it. Buck Taylor leaves it, and Harrell zips it over. Off that joust, the point's still alive. And Villanova has the point. One of the many youngsters for Villanova, it's Reagan McGivern.
And what you saw there is Lola Buck Taylor off to a flying start. She battled a lot of injuries last year. And of course, it's year number 2 of the 2 libero rule, and Josh is using it. A lot of coaches last year, some were hot and cold with it, but I think you need to let it play out for a couple of years to see how everybody will use it.
Yeah, so Buck Taylor, last year we talked about it. It was her and Liz Fesco, the captain for Villanova last year. Fesco graduates, and Buck Taylor, an impressive rookie campaign for the Wildcats, and you see her 13 in the baby blue. Out of Tampa, Florida. So they're wiping up a wet spot, and we certainly can tell you from where we're situated right now, it is very warm in here, so that perspiration is going to get onto the court, and then you factor in a couple thousand students packing the bleachers, only more so.
We had cooler early September weather for 10 days, and then it gets to be 1,000,000 degrees outside here on this Friday, and that trickles into Nevin. So they have the fans blowing like usual this time of year. The windows are open, but a lot of bodies in this building. Josh is sweating just like we are.
Lauren Kellen waiting on the other side off the Nelson serve. And Young just misses the line, gave it a pretty decent swing there in a tough spot.
So maybe Villanova a little amped up, right? A few mistakes early on. It's the home opener. The Binghamton match was canceled Wednesday. Binghamton having some issues with their roster, didn't have enough bodies, so they had to cancel that.
First 18 points have been split as Yale will collect the ace.
Yeah, all in all, for Yale's first match of the season, they look like a well-coached team, and that's because of Erin Appleman. She was at Penn State in the early 2000s. I was at Penn State in the early 2000s. Josh was at Penn State in the early 2000s as well.
Off the bar serve, Yale by 1, and now Yale by 2. It's a kill for Abraham.
Yeah, talking with Erin yesterday, she just loves what Abraham brings to the table because she's a productive player, she's physical in the middle, she's quick, she knows how to score.
All good attributes as Barr long on the serve.
So I would think one of the bigger Ivy League stories is Cam Chaney, the player of the year. She transfers to Vanderbilt. It's their first year. I've seen Vanderbilt on TV more. I was telling the coaches in our chats this weekend. I've seen Vanderbilt play more in the first 2 weeks than Texas. They've been on TV a ton.
Harrell's service error, and one of the cool things talking to Coach Appleman about this week, the fact that because the Ivy start a week later, the Bulldogs, they got to, as a team, watch a lot of those big national TV matches, these kickoff events that have been really fun, and like you just mentioned, Nick, Vanderbilt's certainly a part of it. Cross-court swing, that does the job for the Cats, Taylor Lewis.
Yeah, Taylor Lewis, another key sophomore. She'll be one of your main right side kids with that rotation with Ava Merton, the transfer from Cal, but another big, strong, physical player.
Good now, tries back row, and a little too much English on it. Villanova with the point, we're tied 12-12.
Betsy Goodnow knows what she's doing. She's a top 100 recruit, high school All-American, a really high-end player.
Wu back sets. Buck Taylor hitting the floor early and often. The Villanova sophomore libero has been impactful early as McKinnon and company, her and Lewis converge for the block and the point.
Campbell McKinnon had an awesome year blocking in 2024. Her numbers were off the charts good. The third most single season block assists in the history of the program with over a hundo.
Looked like Lewis got a piece of it initially, and then McKinnon was there to power it over. So it's a 3-0 scoring run for the Wildcats. Combined 10 attack errors between these teams through 25 points, so not the cleanest start from either side.
And it's neat. Betsy Goodnow and Reagan McGivern actually played on the same club team in the Kansas City area with the Mavs KC club.
Off the top of the block, Goodnow, like you said, Nick, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and Margot Randall also in that club scene area as well. Hey, the national semifinals are in Kansas City this year, Coop.
Topeka, Kansas, the hometown for McGivern. Lenexa for Goodnow. As Villanova takes advantage of a service error here. Mary-Kate Ritterbusch comes off. Mentioned the two liberos that Josh Steinbach is designating. Ritterbusch, the freshman from Palatine, Illinois.
And Coach really has been impressed with Ritterbusch's play. Exceeded expectations early on, playing really well and passing well. That's why she's playing.
And we're seeing a lot of Larice Abraham. She gets the kill from Wu.
And so far, Bethany Wu, big-time recruit, she passes the eye test. Big-time club volleyball player down at Dallas. So they just missed her in training last year with her injury. You see she's wearing a brace.
Was out all of last year. As they'll try and set it to the pin, not there. Ava Poinsett was unable to get a good read on it.
And Ava Poinset's one of their very talented rookies they have for this year. And she'll get a lot of opportunities. And you see, pretty evenly matched early on.
Timeout on the floor. We'll be back after this.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
15-14 Villanova. The wave getting done here at the Devon Fieldhouse. Nick, what are your thoughts on the wave? Are you pro-wave, anti-wave?
If the people enjoy it, I'm all right with it. And they're waving at Betsy Goodnow because she's been around a long time.
That's the proper answer. As the crowd's loving this environment tonight here, Yale and Villanova wrapping up the first night of the Villanova Classic as Lola Buck-Taylor takes the brunt of that swing. Yale evens the score.
Yale's a lot more athletic than people realize, and that's why they're good every year, as Aaron gets a lot of big-time recruits and high school All-Americans, and Gigi Barr is super skilled.
Off the Goodnow serve. Back set from Harris, and McKinnon does the rest.
Ava Harris is super skilled. She can do back sets, she can do home runs, short sets, a variety of bags in her tricks. So you have two terrific setters. Look at Harris, little nifty feed right to Campbell McKinnon.
We talked about the youth of this Villanova team. Last year there was a lot of new. This year, not a lot of new because you bring that team back off the tape and it's live. McKinnon's certainly right at the forefront of that. Wildcats in system, and that was overpass that works out all right.
The important thing is you got two stop blocks at the net, one on the Jazz by Reagan McGivern, a very talented scoring and blocking middle. So she's the full package for Nova.
Wildcats trying to feed off the crowd here late in the first. Young leaves it up there for Harrell. Off the free ball here. McGivern, the kill for Villanova.
So you just saw the blocking on the last point by McGivern, and now you see the offense. She's probably the most well-rounded middle Villanova's had since Gabby Pethokoukis on the 2015 NCAA tournament squad, as she can score big time.
Timeout for the Yale Bulldogs with the Wildcats up 3 late in the first set. And in case you missed it, it was here on the Villanova Sports Network. We had quite the matchup between Fairfield and High Point in our opener today of the Villanova Classic. 3-2, Fairfield was facing match point. Stags come back to win it over High Point, as Villanova will take on High Point Sunday. Tomorrow at 4 they get Fairfield, and Yale will go up against High Point tomorrow night here at 7, and they'll host, or that rather they will go to Fairfield later next week.
High Point's super talented every year, but they lost their whole roster. But they passed the eye test. They have tons of size and they're physical, but they're sorting out their passing, talking with Ryan Meek. So I'm interested if they just keep getting better, and they will, because they dominate every year. But Fairfield's a veteran team. Yeah, they lost pieces too, but they look more organized. And we always talk about passing and serving. Fairfield was more organized, and they just pulled out a squeaker.
Villanova with 3 teams coming in here this weekend, all winning their conference championships last year. Pretty cool arrangement that we have here for the Villanova Classic, as service error comes from Campbell McKinnon. So again, this is Yale's first match of the season. Villanova with a 5-set win over Notre Dame and a sweep over Santa Clara to kick off the new year. And a block for the Bulldogs. Lauren Kellen gets the job done.
Yeah, just give credit to Yale there. They timed their block quicker than Villanova ran its offense. And it was a pretty good looking set that time for the Wildcats, as they were aiming for one of their new players, Ava Merton. She's a lefty who plays on the right side. Good to have a lefty over there, of course.
4-year player at Cal is Merton. Comes over here as a grad transfer. Pancake dig, well done. Ritterbusch. It is a Yale point, but seeing the rookie hit the floor, keep the point alive.
Yale showing that they've been organized. They're throwing a lot of trick passes at Nova, trick shots. They're staying in system as well as they can, making Villanova work for it.
Off the point set serve, we'll go back set for Merton. Sliding dig from Jew. Ritterbusch with time. Harrell. And Yale going on a run here. They lead by 1. That's 4 consecutive points for the visitors.
Josh will challenge this one.
And one of the beautiful things about this setup that we have here, it's the bonus lottery night, so you get a really packed crowd with a lot of students trying to boost their odds in the basketball ticket lottery. And what that does is you expose so many of these students here at Villanova to this sport, to this team, and it makes for a raucous environment.
And you'll be on the call for Villanova's football opener, and it's football season, and we get great crowds thanks to our good students at all the football games, making the playoffs basically every single year, and they're poised for another big year under Coach Mark Ferrante.
An exciting time with fall sports very much up and running. And the Wildcats are putting on a show on the floor. Mina Diggs was doing some backflips while the officials will look this one over, entertaining the crowd.
You can't be surprised. Mina Diggs is one of the most marvelous athletes that Villanova's had in years.
Here's the call in question. Josh Steinbach is challenging the call, and it was initially an attack error on Kat Young.
I think it's a Villanova point because I just think it's off the net and out of bounds unless the officials say that it hit the antenna.
You know, I think that's the question. Actually, it was Harrell on that swing. As it is a Yale point, so challenge unsuccessful.
Both teams hitting under 100 so far, so hasn't been super crisp volleyball per se in terms of offense.
It's a combined 13 attack errors between the teams. Harris sets it. And Villanova is even after point set with the attack error.
And Villanova, their offense didn't look as crisp there again, still sorting things out, so that's a gift point as Yale couldn't handle it there. So I think everybody's amped up. It's opening night at home, a big crowd. I think they'll settle in eventually. But it's tied here, Coop. This is a big first set, obviously.
Alyssa Nelson from the St. Louis area. Sophomore setter served that. That finds the floor for Yale. And Gigi Barr and company are 5 points away from taking the set.
So she had a season-ending injury back in 2021 and didn't play a whole lot, so she was able to save a year when you have an injury if you're an Ivy League player. So this is her 5th year technically. Now Gigi Barr hit .381 last year, Coop, the 5th best percentage in Yale single season history.
And 4th best in the Ivy last year. And when you have 2 players on your team in the top 5 in the league in percentage, tells you got a nice squad. Meanwhile, here's Harrell with a bullet and a point.
Abby Harrell, in case you missed it, 16 kills with no errors in the win over Santa Clara. They made no adjustments, and she just dominated that match. And then there were big kids for Notre Dame, and Abby still scored big time against the Irish.
Harrell, 5'10" junior from Ellensburg, Washington, plays very much above her size. Wildcats fish it out. Nelson back sets. And it's a Villanova point for Taylor Lewis.
So Reagan McGivern gets another block, 44 in blue, which keeps your offense alive. And Taylor Lewis has elevated her game as well, has a big arm, and she's playing very controlled to start the season.
Wildcats respond to Yale hitting the 20 mark with 2 consecutive points. Wu sets across. And Yale answers the bell. Lauren Kellen with the kill.
Out of the Pensacola area, and Bethany Wu definitely looking solid in her first collegiate match as the setter for a perennial Ivy League champ.
And you had just talked about McGivern. She got a fingertip on that. She really is everywhere in the middle for the Wildcats. They go to Young. It's Nelson to Young. Wildcats score.
Kat Young was good right away last year, but by November, she hit a different gear. She started to look even better and stronger. Most rookies fade, Coop, because it's just a lot on them. Villanova's rookies just got better and better and better, played well in the postseason, and they're even better this year. As we said, they're bigger, stronger, faster.
And Young with 26 kills over the 8 sets in South Bend to kick off the season. All-tournament team at the Catholic Challenge delivers that time. Wildcats serving. With Buck Taylor sent that over. Here's good now. Nelson. McKinnon. Free ball here for Villanova, looking to attack. Buck Taylor for Young, but that dig keeps it going by Jew. Really good point here. High quality volleyball. As Villanova's got it, Young.
I don't think people realize that last year Villanova was the #3 blocking team in the Big East with all freshmen basically, and now you add Reagan McGivern, and that block has been very effective early on tonight, Coop.
No doubt about it. Wildcats wait out the final Bulldog timeout. And Yale trying to claim this set. Last year when these teams met in New Haven, we've talked about how the complexions of the team from last year to this year are a little different, with the Bulldogs losing a couple key outsides as well as their 4-time All-Ivy setter. But that was a 5-setter, and Aaron Appleman saying to us on the call this week, Nick, that they barely squeaked by in that one against Villanova. So they were anticipating a challenge here tonight.
Yeah, and Yale, Princeton, we know it, every year they're going to be fighting for the top. As you see Villanova starting to get the offense clicking and throwing some tip shots to make Yale get out of system, which is obviously how teams do it.
And it was Kat Young delivering the knockout punch on that point, leading the way with 4 kills tonight for the Wildcats.
How about the road record for Yale this decade, Coop? Under Aaron Appleman, the Elis are 29-9 in true road games this decade. That's a wonderful mark.
Last year winning the Ivy, getting to the NCAA tournament. As service error from Buck Taylor will send it back. They took a set off of UNC in that one. They took the opening set, did the Yale Bulldogs against the Tar Heels. So we got a 1-point difference here. There is Appleman giving out instructions as Kellen serves it over. And it is Yale that takes the point. We're even 23 aside.
I like the idea. Alyssa Nelson, awesome set. Taylor Lewis, trick shot to the corner. She just missed it by a hair.
There's Lewis and nearly landed it. Nice run on serve here for Kellen. And Yale's got set point.
Yeah, a few too many attack errors by Villanova, where the buildup looks good, and they just had some attack errors so far to start the night.
We saw a 5-setter in the first match of the Villanova Classic between Fairfield and High Point. This one has been tight throughout the set. Nobody's taken a real commanding lead this entire frame, and that's a 3-0 run for the Bulldogs.
And 10 attack errors, so not as clean on the finishing so far. And I think it's nerves and adrenaline. That's why I think as this match settles in, Villanova will find their groove eventually. But coming off a big season, they always play well in this tournament, Coop. You always know that. Josh's record has been terrific in the Villanova Classic. All time, he's 33-11.
So the Wildcats getting to play in front of a big crowd here in their home opener. We'll try and stave off set point here and pull this set out against the Bulldogs. I think that kid sent her your picture before was regretting long sleeves. I would imagine he was regretting long sleeves at least.
I've seen a lot of people in long sleeves this week thinking it's fall, but it's gotten really hot again.
Kellen serves long. Each team with 4 service errors this set, and that was a costly one for Yale. And there's another for Villanova from Ava Harris. Set point again for Yale. Aria Jew Jr. out of Marietta, Georgia. Nearly an overpass, but McKinnon nails it. We're tied, 25 aside.
And that pass was a little bit off, but what happens? Sometimes you terminate the ball even if it's not perfect. Look at Ava Harris, she did her best she could, and McKinnon said no problem. As Campbell McKinnon has a big arm, and you thought she was a big jumper last year, she's jumping even higher this year. Steinbach didn't think it was possible.
25-25. She's 5'10", but she can get up there. And that's a Yale point as Emma Vu was in to serve. Did not play in the Catholic Challenge at Notre Dame last weekend, but the transfer from Iona was brought in to serve that time. But Yale takes the point, and they will try for their 3rd set point. They've been unable to close it out so far. Betsy Goodnow. Wildcats scramble, and Harrell keeps it going. But Wildcats will not quit.
Ava Harris, the freshman setter, with a neat ball, and Abby Harrell was in a good spot. You know, Abby has as big of an arm as Villanova's ever had. Goes cross court.
So now can the Wildcats set themselves up with the set point in their favor? They fought off 3 of them in a row for Yale. Out of system here, have to send over a free ball. Woo. Good now, into the net. Wildcats have set point on tap.
These teams have played some long sets the last couple years. So it's not surprising that we're seeing this high end in terms of entertainment.
Yale looking to stay alive here in the first. Harrell says no thank you. We'll take this set. Big swing from Abby Harrell. The Wildcats win set 1.
An absolute superstar in Abby Harrell. She's turning into maybe one of your best players ever. What a comeback for Villanova.
3 set points for Yale. They couldn't close. Abby Harrell with the last swing of the first set. Wildcats up 1-0. We'll step aside and come right back to the Nevin Fieldhouse after this.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Villanova grinded out the first set to win 28-26 over Yale. Here's what the Wildcats have done so far. You have Abby Harrell and Campbell McKinnon, preseason All-Big East. You get a win over Notre Dame in South Bend, and a young team, but an experienced team. They were young last year. Those players returned. You don't have a true senior, and here you are trying to take down the Yale Bulldogs to move to 3-0.
And it's about cohesiveness. So if you're a team and you have all senior transfers, well, it's like having freshmen because you have to build chemistry. And Villanova did it so well last year. It was such a great job by Josh and the staff and the players buying in. They're all competitors. They want to win. They're all out there. And that's why Josh loves this team. And we said it, they all went to work in the summer to get better. Abby Harrell went beach. They all lifted, got stronger, better. They worked on their individual games, Coop.
Emma Vu coming over from Iona as a grad transfer. Ditto for Ava Merton from Cal. But as you just saw, no true seniors. So it's a lot of kids that haven't been here quite as long, but they've produced in a big way since coming to the main line. And the crowd rocking here tonight as we get set for the second set. Who doesn't love a little Natasha Bedingfield, am I right?
If you're playing anything from the hills, then you gotta like it, Coop. Come on, mid-2000s, that was the peak of human civilization, let's be real.
No argument for me.
Most of these kids were born in the mid-2000s, right?
Well,
so
it's funny. I mean, we just continue to age ourselves with every word we utter, but I feel like all these songs kind of come back into the picture because all these people, college age, they're seeing them on TikTok. They become a trend. Now, I have no knowledge of that, but it seems like that always becomes a thing.
Sure you do, right, Coop? Yeah, I believe every word you just said.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you could be a fan of whatever thanks to YouTube, right?
Start set 2 here. We are on YouTube right now. As Villanova and Yale had a really good first set. Wildcats in the dark jerseys. And there's a big swing and a kill from Larice Abraham to get the second starter for the Bulldogs.
Erin Appelman does an amazing job every year. Her teams are always organized. A lot of teams in their first game or match of the year. We do a lot of sports, and some teams don't look right. You saw it with college football week 1. It was a lot of ugly offense. Let's be real, right? How about Yale? Their first match, they're playing behind schedule compared to everybody else, and they look very organized, and that's because of Erin Appelman.
Bethany Wu, we've talked about her. Sophomore setter was out with injury last year. Has looked good early. Speaking of which, Harrell, she had the determination to close the first. She's got Villanova's first point here in the second.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I mean, this is an amazing play. You just can't teach this. Abby Harrell, an absolute missile.
Six kills for Harrell so far. Wu. And the block. Villanova going to the freshman Reagan McGivern. She's handling business in the middle.
Another big-time recruit. Coach Steinbach and this entire staff bringing in all these talented players. Reagan McGivern is a high-end player.
Her and Lewis with block assist, but she got that clean with that left hand. 6'2", Under Armour Next All-American camp in high school. State champ at Hayden Catholic.
And the nice thing, Coop, about McGivern, she's a competitor. Talking to Josh, she wants to win. And some big kids, they're not as mobile. She's a mobile big kid, so she can move around laterally. A very athletic middle.
Here's Harrell serving. And Yale with the response. Lauren Kellen, senior from Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Yeah, Lauren Kellen, Gigi Barr, Betsy Goodnow, all terrific players. Lots of options for Yale like usual. That's why they keep on winning the Ivy tournament every year.
Talked about it. Them and Princeton, the two top dogs in the league. Off the bump set, Goodnow went right into the block. And Kat Young finishes the point.
So we mentioned MK Ritterbusch, the freshman libero out of Chicago. She's passed very well, and she's a redhead, so she's easy to spot. She made the pass that time. Look at that simple pass to get you in system.
And Kat Young, cool, calm, and collected. 5 kills for her. Lewis thumps that over.
And what we saw out of Taylor Lewis last year with that physicality she has, Coach Steinbach said she's improved a lot because she's just settled into her role. She knows it's hers, playing a lot more relaxed and under control.
Buck Taylor, the libero on the floor right now for Villanova. And that's another kill for Lewis. From here, it looked like that may have been going long, but that was touched.
Yeah, a little wet spot on the floor. There's going to be a lot of moisture because of the heat and humidity that's come about here in Philadelphia over the last 24 hours. So as these kids hit the deck, it's just a lot of sweat mopping up.
Some midsummer-like humidity here.
Yeah, I thought we were past it.
Right? Always sneaks right back up on you. Here's Buck Taylor's serve. Wu for Abraham. Gets the job done for Yale.
The last time Yale was here was in the 2014 Villanova Classic. I got to call all those matches, talking with Russ Rose. Penn State was here, Kansas, Yale. That was a great feel. That's why we had it at the pavilion in the air conditioning, right?
McKinnon puts one down. And, I mean, yes, they got to be in the pavilion, but they didn't get to be in the field house like we are right now, as Villanova bringing the heat here with McKinnon.
Somebody put that Kansas-Penn State match on YouTube a few years after, so if you ever want to go back 10 years ago plus 1, that's 11 years ago, Penn State-Kansas match is on YouTube.
Off the Harris serve, the middle holds up, and they'll get a net violation on Yale. Or no, that's for contact. It's Villanova on the point.
Team USA lost in the semis in the World Championships. Ali Franti was on that Penn State team in 2014. Franti was on the USA roster, from what I could tell, just a couple days ago.
This is as large a margin as we've had thus far. First set going 28-26 to the Cats. After 3 Yale set points, the Bulldogs were unable to wrap it up. And it's another Wildcat point, 8-3.
Aaron Appleman's asking the officials about that one.
And looks like she's going to challenge if it was deflected or not.
I don't think I saw her pick up the card, but maybe she just communicated that she wanted the challenge. Same deal.
But it's more fun when they pick up the card, right?
It's very fun when they slam it on the table, right? She might have picked it up and I missed it.
Here's a look. See if there was a deflection.
I think that went off of Yale hands, the high hands there. I think this will remain a Villanova point because it was called on the floor. and I don't think it's super obvious.
But it does give her team a chance to decompress after Villanova has won 3 straight points and built this 5-point lead. Not a major lead, but with as close as it's been early on, Yale trying to resettle here.
So we said the Ivy might look a little different. Some kids are gone from Yale, and Cam Chaney, the player of the year, transfers to Vanderbilt. And the Big East looks new. Obviously, those 2 major head coaches depart, and suddenly Creighton looks different because there's no more Nora Sis or Kendra Waite. In fact, Creighton's new setter is a transfer from Cal, the Swiss kid, Anna Lee Mader. I've seen her play on TV. Creighton's been on TV a lot the first couple weeks. And Mader played with Merton at Cal.
And the challenge won by Appleman. How about that?
Yeah, close call, 50-50. Could have gone either way, clearly.
So they saw enough, and 5-point difference is cut to 3 on that challenge.
Both Yale and Princeton went 12-2 in the Ivy League last year, but Cornell has some good players back this year. I think Cornell will make some noise. They have some really good players, especially the Russian Moshe Sidorova.
Cornell, the preseason number 4 in the H&8, as Yale collects another point. And all of a sudden, the Bulldogs right back in this thing. Here's another look at that last swing. Ooh.
Very organized every year with Erin Appleman and her team. That was not surprising.
That was point set on the kill. And Villanova's got the point here as the Wildcats with Young ready to serve. And a few years into the Ivy League having the tournament, you know, across the board in all their sports. And that'll do the trick. Go to Barr. She'll do the rest.
The Ivy League brought back the Ivy tournament in 2022, and Yale's won it every year since they brought it back. The first time they've had it since the year 2000.
As Yale's got a point here, and the thing with that, though, is even though they have the tournament back, for record-keeping sake, the regular season champ is the Ivy champ, which Yale continues to pull out. But they won them both last year and have 3 straight Ivy championships. And it's a Villanova point. Harrell forcing the issue.
It was a great opening weekend for Villanova. The setters played well. Ava Harris stepped in, looked solid right away, talking with Josh Steinbach, and Alyssa Nelson is just a star setter.
Set the back row for Young. McKinnon had the hands ready. They go to Harrell. And that was not touched. Yale's got the point.
But when you have your middle playing back row and passing like that, that's why the team was oohing and eyeing. And there you can see the celebration. McKinnon does it all. She serves. What a volleyball player.
I think maybe it could be an overused word in sports, but I think versatility stands out when it comes to this Villanova team. Got a whole lot of players that can play all over the court and do it well. Woo. And Barr finds the floor. That's a point for Yale.
Yeah, but Yale was out of sorts there, and they weren't sure what to do, and they got lucky on that one.
Take luck where you can get it. And that's how the Bulldogs claim this point. The veteran Barr dropping a dime there.
Yeah, she's a good player. I've always liked Gigi Barr. Super talented player.
Out of Elmhurst, Illinois. Played for Adversity as her club. As the Bulldogs will get Naya Salfidi, first year out of Westlake, Texas. So this is her career debut. Standing on the right side for the Bulldogs. Salfidi's first touch. They go to Harrell. Blocked, out of play. Villanova point.
Now, Yale's done such a good job against the Ivy League. 45-3 is their record against the Ivy League over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, you talked about those Yale-Princeton matchups are going to be really interesting when those teams face each other this year. And that'll do the trick for Yale. Lauren Kellen delivers.
Yeah, Lauren Kellen has looked very sharp. Obviously, since they graduated a lot of players, she'll have an elevated role this year. 7 in white out of Florida should have a big year for them because she'll get an opportunity and more swings.
Kellen's third kill. That's third on the team tonight. And that's an ace. Woo.
Aaron Appleman was raving about Wu. I was asking who's going to be your setter because you graduate deal, and you figured it would be Bethany Wu, a big-time recruit out of the Dallas club scene.
And that was her first career ace. And this is a service error. Villanova and Yale even 11 aside here in set 2.
Yeah, not just easy to replace the Carly Deals, an All-American, Ivy Player of the Year. Her assist rate was number 22 in the country last year. I mean, Carly Deal had a marvelous career.
The Wu has looked comfortable so far as the Wildcats take advantage of the Abraham attack error.
I agree. Wu looks very comfortable. Abraham just missed it that time.
There is Wu. Harrell serving for the Cats. Buck Taylor finds Lewis, and Villanova leads by 2. It was 28-26 in set 1. Fighting off 3 set points, and here in set 2, it's been Villanova leading the way.
Taylor Lewis is off to a fine start, just one attack error.
Abraham with the kill.
It's never surprising when these good players for Yale score because they're standouts. Goodnow and Abraham and Barr. Those are 3 magnificent players to lead with.
Kellen serving for Yale. And service error.
Yeah, I think for Yale, talking with Aaron Appleman, it makes sense. You have some frontline players, but how's your new setter do? And the back row and passing and serving kids that they graduated, that's the part she was concerned about the most. And that makes sense with Kara Schultz, who's a Philly kid from Bishop Shanahan, led the Ivy and Aces. Amelia Yarch was a great 6th rotation kid.
Villanova with the McKinnon kill. Took a nice angle on that one. 15-12, the Villanova lead as we step aside here in the middle of set 2. We'll be back right after this.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Bethany Wu, 22 in white. See her right there, her first career appearance after missing last year with injury. Really nice background coming in, high-level recruit out of the Dallas, Texas area.
Yeah, won a state title, a big-time club team. Talking with Erin Appleman in our chat this week, she said she's uber competitive. She might not have played a whole lot last year with Carly Deal, but she might have played a little, and that would have helped for this year. But I think it's her team, and it's clear she's going to be the setter. That's what it looks like.
Yale typically playing a 6-2, and Hallie Sherlock, their captain, doesn't look like she's dressed tonight. And it's been Wu out there running the offense as Villanova goes up 3.
Yeah, Taylor Lewis has had the hot hand with 6 kills and just 1 error tonight. So 4 in blue, having a terrific night, and she's reading the block well and just not making mistakes.
This set, Villanova hitting 400 to Yale's 238. And service error brings it back over the net.
Yeah, winning matches like this against these good teams this weekend, Fairfield, High Point, Yale, all went to the NCAA tournament last year. That'll give you even more confidence to have a big year.
Betsy Goodnow for the Bulldogs. And McKinnon having a strong performance.
Campbell McKinnon just took off as that season went on last year. Just got better and better and better. Against UConn in the Big East tournament, career high 11 blocks, hit over 300 with 15 kills in that win over the Huskies.
Big East All-Tournament honors for her troubles.
And that was a rematch because UConn beat us here on senior night a few days prior. How many times do you see a team turn around and the other team wins a few days later, right?
They got swept here by the Huskies in that one. Go to Omaha and then get a win over UConn to get to the Big East semis as Villanova leads 18-15 here in set 2.
But again, only 4 teams for the Big East tournament. They tried 6 for a couple years, but now it's whittled back down to 4 for all sports. Not the basketballs, but all the fall and spring sports. 4 teams only.
Ace for McKinnon. That's the first ace of the night for the Wildcats. And Yale will take a timeout. A 4-point deficit here, trying to avoid going down 2-0. There's that ace.
Yeah, it's so interesting with the Ivy, with Yale, Princeton, and we mentioned Cam Chaney transferring the Vanderbilt to Ivy Player of the Year. It helps to have the good players stick around, right? What if Betsy Goodnow transfers to Vanderbilt and Cam Chaney stays at Princeton, right? We'd have a whole different type of narrative. It's a lot last year what happened at the Final Four, right? Anna DeBeer for Louisville, their star player, she gets hurt in the national semifinals. And in their home court, in their home city, think if she was healthy and had been able to play against Penn State in the final, Louisville might have cut down the nets last year, right? And Jess Merzick carried Penn State to that title. Think if Merzick got hurt in that semifinal and DeBeer didn't, then Louisville would have been the better team on that championship match. So when you lose your best player right before the national final, right, or you lose a good player to transfer, it switches the conversation, definitely. So does that make Yale the favorite? Well, Princeton's still really good again, like usual. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, and we showed you the Ivy League poll at the top of our show. Yes, Yale is 1, Princeton is 2, but they were separated by 2 points, 121 to 119. So the coaches thinking both of them are right there. And we'll see how it plays out this year. McKinnon to it. And they'll shut it down.
Now, Yale's saying that it's a net violation on Nova, and that's what Aaron's wondering. But they gave the point to Villanova on a little stuff by Reagan McGivern, who might have hit the net.
Well, her and Wu, it seemed like they both got in there at the same time. And the question is, who hit the net, or did either hit the net? So they're going to go look at this.
And they're saying deflection, if anything. So Aaron wanted to check with their players first. You know, volleyball players always tell the truth, Coop, right?
Yes.
Let's make that clear.
Never told a lie.
Never in their life. Somebody's nose is growing real big right now out there.
See if we can get a look at this as the officials check this out. So here's the joust coming up right here. Wu for Yale, and there's McGivern for Villanova. Not sure if you saw anything definitive there, Nick.
No, I'm wondering if it is just a classic deflection conversation and who touched it last there, or some sort of violation.
Let's see if this angle does the trick. Ball is there, and it was almost as if they simultaneously let go of the ball at the same time there.
That's why they had the replay to see who touched it last.
So let's see if this call potentially turns the tides for the Bulldogs here, looking to even the match score. But are 5 points back of the Wildcats if this stands up.
Yeah, it's so neat that Villanova's recruited a lot of these Midwest kids, and the Final Four is back in the Midwest, right there in the heart of volleyball, USA, in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center. It was there a number of years ago, and it was a great crowd, obviously.
Well, Erin Appelman, she's had the touch tonight with the challenge card.
She and Josh go way back. They've known each other a long time.
Say that Villanova had 4 touches, and that makes it a 3-point difference versus 5. First time this set where Erin Appelman had a challenge, that was the same situation. They cut a 5-point gap to 3 with 1 overturned call. Do it again here late in the set.
Erin Appelman recruited Katie Schumacher, who's a player on that '99 Penn State National Championship team when Erin was an assistant for Russ Rose. Josh Steinbach and myself were all in Happy Valley at that time. It was really cool to see. And it's so neat to see what Katie Schumacher, her colleague, did last year, winning the national title. First woman to ever win a women's D1 national championship in volleyball.
Block for the Bulldogs as they inch a little closer, and Katie Schumacher Cawley, the Jimmy V Award winner, just the perseverance that she showed and the speech that she had there at the ESPYs, as you see Yale with the block from Kellen.
And she didn't want to talk about it at all last year, and I don't blame her. She made it about her team. I would have done the same. Good for her.
Blocked out of play. Harrell takes the point for the Wildcats.
Boy, that was a major pound that time. What a ricochet out of bound. You had some major power on it there.
Harrell up to 10 kills on 21 swings, 3 errors, hitting percentage of .333 for the junior outside.
I told you Villanova would eventually heat up. They just had to calm down, obviously. There's always nerves with a home opener.
Wildcats hitting .385 this set, but Yale 227, upping their numbers from set 1, but still a few more attack errors. It's really less terminations for Yale, each team with 3 attack errors this set. Wu sets the middle, and it feels like whenever they need a point, they've been going to Larice Abraham there.
Bethany Wu continues to be uber consistent tonight. Very impressive for her first collegiate match as their setter. And you have these big front row players with Goodnow and Abraham and company, which means you'll have a good offense again this year.
7th kill for Larice. Yale within 2. Adjustment from Nelson. And you see Ritterbusch sliding to the floor to get it over. There is Ritterbusch. Harrell into the block for the point.
Another classic Alyssa Nelson athletic play, 7 in blue for Nova, diving to the floor. She is a dynamite athlete, saved that ball off the deck, and it turns into offense. Look at what she does here for it. Makes it look easy, right, Coop?
That she does. Harrell does as well. Meanwhile, Yale cuts to within 2. As the Wildcats are trying to go up 2-0 here.
Aaron uses a sub. She lost some good serving kids to graduation.
Yuri Park, first year from San Diego, California. Her first time on the Division I court. Nelson back set. Excellent effort from Wu. And that's a point set point. Able point set for Yale.
It's only one actual block for Reagan McGivern. You just saw her in your window. But 44 in the blue jersey for Nova, the rookie. She's basically getting a touch and making a difference on every point she's in there.
Lewis really cranked that one over. Try her again. And we're seeing Yuri Park, the rookie, keep the point alive for Abraham. But she just missed that. Wildcats by 2.
Boy, you talk about a deep roster for Nova. Josh has so many options. They're healthy, performing at a high level. It doesn't have to be all Abby Harrell, obviously, but if she's the hot hand, obviously they'll ride that. But you have many pin hitters and middles to play with this year.
Excellent effort by the Wildcats. Nelson. And that finds the floor. Kat Young for Villanova.
Villanova hitting some good passes. Obviously, when you pass well, it'll turn into a clean offense. Abby Harrell had the one good pass, and Kat Young in, Coop.
What did was there a joke? Did I miss? I thought you were going with the rep. There was something I missed there.
No, there was no joke, but Aaron Appleman's challenging.
Okay, got it. Oh, you're saying was that in or
Was
not?
that in?
It looked pretty. It looked pretty in. I didn't think there was
Our
a
angle
question.
there cut off a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a better look at it there.
19th year for Josh. He's creeping up on 300 wins. Joe Portland and Liz House doing a great job with his staff. And they've added Maureen Wallace, a veteran who's the new volunteer assistant. She's been coaching a long time. So you have a lot of good volleyball minds from different generations. And that's great diversity with your staff.
If Villanova sweeps the weekend, Josh Steinbach would be at 291 for his career wins. Let's look at this last swing. Young. Here, let's see. That might have gone long. So it looks like it's going to stay put. It was very close. So Yale is trying to fight off Villanova here in this second. That's a good start to that. Abraham the kill.
It's amazing sometimes when you just have good players up front. They don't pass well. It looks awful, and they still put the ball away, right? When you have good players, you can make the most of a situation there.
Aria Ju on the serve. A high flyer, Campbell McKinnon sets up set point.
And that's when you do everything right, and it looks really good. Yeah, McKinnon's numbers last year obviously off the charts. Her athletic ability, scoring and blocking. Between she and McGivern, you have two awesome middles.
Crowd into it. Wildcats looking to go up 2-0. Whistle, and it's a Yale point. Violation on Villanova. Still set point for the Wildcats, but now it'll be a side out for the Bulldogs.
Eva Poinsett, another big-time recruit for Aaron Appleman. She gets high school All-Americans. So does High Point. Fairfield has good players every year. This is a loaded tournament.
Betsy Goodnow serving for Yale. Big block. Wu back sets. Goodnow. Long. Wildcats go up 2-0. Villanova prevails in set 2, 25-22.
They hit enough passes and they got enough of a block to earn points like that, to just be a little bit better. And Yale's a good team, but Villanova's knocking on the door this year, Coop.
Wildcats going to set 3 with an opportunity to sweep. The Yale Bulldogs have been close, but they have not picked up a set yet. We'll see if that changes in just a few minutes. Back after this.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
How do you tell someone there's something wrong with their heart? The same way you tell them they have options. At Lankenau Heart Institute, part of Mainline Health, we deliver heart care the only way we know how. Human to human, specializing in bigger breakthroughs and tinier scars. Thanks to cardiologists who deliver options when you've run out of them. Because what is heart care if it's not human?
You know you like a good deal, and right now you could be eligible for free or low-cost insurance with Independence Blue Cross. It's the health plan chosen by more people than any other, with more doctors and hospitals, more benefits that really rock, more of the coverage you want, including free doctor visits 24/7. It's a choice you can feel good about, because you know a good deal when you see one. Call Independence Blue Cross today at 1-844-200-2583 to see if you qualify for free or low-cost health insurance.
When planning your next step, Villanova University's College of Professional Studies meets you where you are. Whether your journey leads to a long-awaited degree, enables you to change careers, or accelerates your current one, we have rigorous online and on-campus programs designed to align your experience with your aspirations. When everything you've been ignites everything you'll be, transformation has no age limit. Pursue the next you.
The Yale Bulldogs come to town for the Villanova Classic. Trail 2-0 here, but one of the many formidable foes that Villanova is going to face this weekend. Look at that resume. They have been the class of the Ivy League with Princeton right on their heels. And Betsy Goodnow, Lauren Kellen are on this team right now. Goodnow, the MVP of last year's Ivy League tournament.
And a lot like how Villanova lost to UConn in their regular season finale and then beat the Huskies a few days later in the Big East tournament. It was the same deal for Yale last season, Coop. Cornell in the regular season finale beat Yale for the first time since 2017, and a few days later, Yale returns the favor and beats Cornell in the Ivy semifinals. And I remember watching the interview with Aaron Appleman saying that being the #2 seed last year took the pressure off of us, and it ended up meaning another conference tournament title.
Aaron Appleman, over 20 years at the helm of the Yale program. 6 times her teams have won 20 matches or more, and last year they were 19-6. They were right there as we get set to start set number 3. Sam Cooperman and Nick Montagna with you on this Friday night on the main line. Wildcats will take on Fairfield tomorrow, High Point on Sunday. Yale gets High Point tomorrow night. Set 3 is up and running. And it's a Yale point.
Fairfield beating High Point in our first match earlier today. That one went 5 sets. And of course, Villanova and Yale have gone to 5 sets each of the last 2 times they played.
Mila Mihailovic is the libero in for Yale. She just served it as the Wildcats thump it and win the point.
2024, last year, Villanova almost losing 3-2 at the Yale Invitational. Abby Harrell, no problem. She had 13 kills, but so did Larisse Abraham, and Betsy Goodnow had 22 kills against Nova last year.
Off of Harrell's serve. Oh, excellent effort by Buck Taylor, but to no avail. Yale drops it in to go up 2-1.
And there's Betsy Goodnow again. And same deal. Villanova had a 2-1 lead, Coop. Each of these last 2 times Villanova's played Yale. 2022, 2024 at Yale. But Yale had the comeback in 5 both times.
Point set blocked. And we're seeing Villanova and Reagan McGivern be a problem in the middle for the opposition.
It's only her second statistical block, but she's gotten a hand on everything tonight. Her athleticism, big, tall, strong from the Midwest.
Fellow Midwest native Taylor Lewis out of Indianapolis there on the block assist. So Yale and Villanova going toe-to-toe here. Wildcats won set 1 28-26. Set 2 25-22. After Yale had 3 set points they just could not claim in the first set. They have to battle their way back here. Wu underneath. Is able to find Barr. And Villanova still in the point. Off the back set, Lewis. Villanova gets the point.
That was all Alyssa Nelson. She saves the day again. 7 in blue. You see that smile. Making another athletic play to make it all work. That's how the sausage is made, right? You gotta make plays like that, and she's a superior athlete, and it means good offense, and you get the finish off of it.
Look at it right here. Oh, look at that.
Kick save and a beauty.
McKinnon swats it over. And that goes wide. Villanova up 4-3.
Yeah, see a bit of frustration on the look and the face of Gigi Barr, who's a veteran player, but she knows she should have had that one.
So many smiles on the Villanova bench tonight. Whenever somebody comes out, makes a big play, they are greeted with the chorus line over there. Wildcats team really in rhythm right now. Buck Taylor Harris sets. Mendoza through the block. Isabella Mendoza just came on, and she wins the point for Yale.
So that's the other side of your 6-2 rotation, where you have Ava Harris, the freshman setter, come in, and she's a nice, easygoing kid, very relaxed. And you get to see Ava Merton, the new right side player, 22 in blue, the transfer from Cal.
Mendoza, senior from the 305, Miami, Florida. And Villanova with Kat Young.
Coop, you mentioned it with Kat Young, all these players. There's just a good vibe. They're all competitors. They want to win. Josh and his staff, they've found a lot of good players who are likable and want to win. They all work very hard.
It's a good combination to have. Campbell McKinnon, Exhibit A.
Yeah, overpass and an easy put away for Villanova.
Sophomore out of Collierville, Tennessee. Preseason All-Big East after her stellar freshman campaign. Mendoza with another. Seeing her put home a few points for Yale.
Yeah, we haven't seen Mendoza a whole lot. She's a senior. She's been productive throughout her career. But it's a long season, and you're still sorting things out. It's only match number 1 for Yale.
And trying a few different looks here in this third set. We saw they put a different libero out there briefly in Mihailovic. Wu readjusts. That was a tough fading away swing for Mendoza, but she gets the job done again.
Yeah, talking with Ryan Meek on the phone, the High Point coach. He has a very new team. Super talented and long, tall, and physical. But they're trying to figure it out, which lineup works best, because none of the players have really ever played together. They have new everything.
So from that standpoint, it makes sense that Villanova, team that returns as much as they have, maybe a little more in sync in the early goings. And also another week under their belt. And Harrow for Villanova, another kill. That's 13 for her.
The good ones get better and better, don't they, as they say. Like a stopper in baseball, Abby Harrell just seems to get stronger and stronger.
She burst onto the scene here her rookie year 2 years ago in the Catholic Challenge against Notre Dame and Santa Clara. Had a big week 1 in the Catholic Challenge against Notre Dame and Santa Clara out in South Bend. Harrell, just like you said, keeps getting better and better. As we're tied 7-7 here in set 3.
And High Point's brought in a lot of good transfers. Now they graduated a lot of them, so as we said, it's a new team. But teams have taken High Point's All-Americans, like Sydney Palazzolo, who played for Notre Dame.
Mendoza with an ace. She's really been the story for Yale early in set 3 when it rose up on Kat Young a little bit. Harris for Harrell. Ritterbusch. And Villanova goes to the vet. Merton, the transfer from Cal.
Ava Mertens fit in very well, talking to Josh Steinbach, a very likable kid, really fit in well here to Villanova. Teammates have welcomed her in. It's a good vibe here. She's happy to be here. They played at a high level, right? When you play in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is not dead. It's coming back next year with a full roster of teams. Boise State, a lot of teams.
She also played in the ACC. There's the set across, and point set with the kill for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. On my Twitter account, I made a little journal of my top 10 quarterbacks from week 1 in college football, and right at the top was the freshman lefty from Cal. I'm calling him Tua 2.0. That guy, watch out, awesome passer. That guy was dropping dimes last week.
Goes long, and it's a Villanova point. Can't say that I've watched the film on him, but you know, people in my inner circle have, and we're also very impressed with the Cal quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback play was not good in the noon window and not good in the middle of the day, but it got better while a lot of people were sleeping. There was good quarterback play later in the day last Saturday.
Serve long from Harrell. And on the football note, Villanova home opening game of the season tomorrow night here against Colgate.
Yeah, who will be the quarterback? We're going to find out, right?
Battle coming into camp for Mark Ferrante's guys. Colgate, also a quarterback question there. See who's getting the start for the Raiders. They look really good in their week 1. But here we return to action with Yale up a point. And now it's tied. Lewis, determination.
Taylor Lewis having a brilliant night. She's had a good matchup to work with big players in front of her, but she hasn't overdone it.
Woo. Set the middle, and it's Gigi Barr.
Boy, Gigi Barr is a terrific player. A lot of Aaron's kids could play for high-level, big conference teams, and ditto with High Point and all their players they've had for years.
McKinnon denied. Villanova runs out of touches.
Yeah, Gigi Barr is a good blocker, and you might not see these gigantic blocking numbers from her, but she's still a terrific player in the middle there. Just her timing is always good. That's why she had that monster percentage last year.
And off the antenna and out. Villanova the point. And Yale trying to push this match along here. They've lost the first 2 sets by a combined 5 points. They've been right there with Villanova.
Yeah, neither team started that hot, but Villanova's just done a little bit more, frankly.
Harris going to Harrell back row. Mendoza. She's had the hot hand this set, but not that time.
A nifty play for Villanova to set the back row that time. Looks very clean.
Off of Harris's serve. Block into their side of the net. That's Mendoza again.
And Cable McKinnon and Ava Merton got there in time, but give credit to Mendoza, who's tooled the block pretty well. And she's come off the bench and done very well, like you said, Coop.
That is her 4th kill of this set. Only set she's been out there. McKinnon from a funky angle, misses long. And Yale trying to get to the 15-point timeout with a lead in hand.
The last time Villanova beat Yale was 2019 in a preseason tournament in Los Angeles.
And McKinnon with the point.
Now, Villanova had some Southern California kids, so that was their homecoming trip. So that's why they played at USC that year. You also had the Texas kids like Sanaa Barnes and Mallory Potts who had some big nights. And you have a lot of Texas kids here this weekend in this tournament.
And that's a violation hitting the antenna on Mendoza, so it's 14-14. Villanova not going to California this year, but they will be going to Vermillion, South Dakota in a couple weeks. That's their big trip. South Dakota Classic. 14 even. Let's see if Villanova can go into the break with the lead. Harrell, nice dig. And there's Merton.
You know you're a good team when you're a little bit out of sorts, you're out of system there, couldn't hit the pass a couple times, but then they quickly get it together, and a beautiful set, and Ava Merton with a big-time finish.
3-0 run for Villanova. They lead by 1. We'll be back.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first? Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
It's set 3 of Villanova's home opener in the Villanova Classic. They lead Yale 2-0. The Jake Nevin Fieldhouse is amped up, and we're ready to go. Serve wide, evens the score 15 even.
You see Yale catching up. The sideline's been very animated tonight, like you mentioned, partner, right? And Marley Smith's the leader over there. So we have to have a Marley Smith counter, how many times she looks at us in the camera, because she did a lot last year, that's for sure.
And Abraham's swing nets Yale a point.
Yeah, this might be the best Yale has looked all night. And they're good every year, Sam, so it's really not a surprise when they play good volleyball.
Off of Wu's serve, Harrell blocked. Good now, and Abraham rise up. Josh Steinbach is out towards the court. Wonderful call time. It doesn't look like he will.
I don't think people realize how good Betsy Goodnow is. A big-time recruit. She could have gone to a number of places based on recruiting rankings, and she's a superior athlete and a heck of a volleyball player.
Put down by McKinnon. Ended a 3-0 scoring run for the Bulldogs. Past 9 o'clock local time here at Villanova, so things cooling down a little bit in this old venue, the Jake Nevin Fieldhouse.
And we mentioned before, Reagan McGivern on the right hand of your screen. She played club ball with Betsy Goodnow. And so did Margot Randall, so she must have heard us. Same club team, right, out in the Kansas City region. So she must have liked what we said. That's why she's dancing.
Must be. Mendoza, the point. And the Bulldogs lead by 2 here late in the third.
You can only go off of your preseason training, right? And who gets the starting job, and you play around with your lineups. Maybe the other players were better in practice. That's why Mendoza didn't get the start. Well, hindsight's 20/20 or 50/50, whatever they say, Coop. Mendoza's been an X factor.
Yale by 3. We talked about it, the losses of Kara Schultz and Mila Jaric.
Yep.
2 big outsides that Yale had to replace.
And back row kids, that's what Aaron was telling us. Serving and passing, back row, leaders, intangibles. You see Mendoza, 6 rotation kid. That's probably why they put her in. She checks a lot of boxes.
She serves here. Harrell left-handed. Point set, couldn't terminate. And Villanova does. It was Ritterbusch that kept it alive, and Harrell does the rest.
Yep, MK Ritterbusch has earned the second libero spot because she's been passing well. And Coach Steinbach has been very impressed. So she's playing, because if you can pass as a freshman, you'll see time.
Look at that from Harrell, splits the difference.
That was incredible. The throw trick shots at a good block, very impressive by Abby Harrell.
Villanova serve from Nelson. Buck Taylor stuck with it. And it's a Yale point. So the Bulldogs get to 20, They got to get to 25. Haven't done so yet.
But the pass from Lola Buck-Taylor was terrific. That's what you're looking for. And if you do that, normally you get points out of it. But sometimes you fumble them.
There's the end of it, but Buck-Taylor did all she could. Meanwhile, service error. We'll send it back to the other side of the net for the Wildcats. Abby Harrell will serve here.
Led the team in aces last year.
Right, I was about to say.
All right, stole your thunder.
Not only can she terminate at will, she's also pretty good back from the service line. She can hustle too. Yale the point, but Abby Harrell is everywhere.
Another tight set between these two clubs. Every year they play, basically a pretty 50-50 match. 5 setters the last 2 times they played. Now that 2014 Villanova Classic at the Pavilion, boy, those teams were dynamite. American, Yale, Penn State, Kansas. Woo.
Good now. So Ritterbusch on serve. Nelson across. Nelson another set. The middle was covered up. They're going to try Lewis. Yale's block has been strong this point. And point set long. It was deflected.
So Ava Poinsett, another talented Yale recruit, major blocking right there on that latest sequence, and then puts away the point. But do we have a challenge? Or was that a timeout, Coop?
Josh Steinbach took a timeout.
A timeout. So you see what Poinsett is doing. Excellent find. Not surprising that Yale gets these good players. Big, strong, physical, looks the part. Excellent block, puts it away. You see some freshmen like their setter, Bethany Wu, and definitely Ava Poinsett. A lot like Villanova's rookies last year. The Yale first years are not looking like first year players.
So this is what's happened in the first 2. Villanova fought off 3 set points in that opening frame. Crowd was raucous, and Harrell put it down.
And Coop, it hasn't exactly been super crisp passing by either side tonight, but because you have unbelievable front row players, they're making the most of any of these situations.
And that was the final swing of the second. Good now, missing long on a 25-22 Villanova win in the second. So here we are in the third, with Yale 3 points away from forcing a 4th. Teams went 5 last year in New Haven. Yale won that 3-2. Here's good now. Nelson, and a free ball from Lewis. And was that deflected? Young took the swing, and yes, it was. Kat Young just so steady. Nine kills for her. Mary Kate Ritterbusch to serve. Poinsett with the kill.
A glimpse of the future for Yale. Those 2 players. Bethany Wu, the setter, has had a very clean debut. And remember, she's a sophomore, but she missed all of last year with an injury. So she's basically a freshman or a first year. And Ava Poinsett, very impressive.
Looking like she'll be a big part of this Bulldog team in year 1, as Barr with the kill, setting up.
That was a dynamite serve by Ava Poinsett. Absolute bullet. And then the overpass and an easy stuff by Gigi Barr. But excellent serve that time. Maybe the best we've seen all night.
Another quality serve from her. And McKinnon keeps things alive for Villanova. got a bit of a mountain to climb here. Got to win at least 4 in a row.
Yeah, it's a big side out just to end that rotation, because you see all of a sudden Poinsett was getting on a roll, and you want to try and squash any kind of major momentum that the other team builds.
Ava Harris serving for Villanova, the freshman setter from Angola, Indiana. Wu for Barr. That'll force a fourth. Yale claims set 3, 25-20.
Yale hit over 400 in that set, Coop, as they really got things rolling. And a lot of it had to do with Izzy Mendoza, who came in and played all the rotations really cleanly and gave them a serving element. And you saw Yale serve tough in that set.
Yale wins set 3. We go to the 4th after this.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Here's the series history between the Wildcats and the Bulldogs. Yale with the edge. And last year it went 5 sets. We head to the 4th now. Betsy Goodnow, a big reason if Yale is to make the comeback. You figure she will be the reigning Ivy League tournament MVP.
And Goodnow hit 390 in that win over Villanova last year. A big reason why the Eli's came away with the victory.
Sam Cooperman and Nick Montagna with you on this Friday night at the Jake Nevin Fieldhouse at Villanova University.
So I don't know that Erin Appleman gets all amped up or emotional with her team, but a lot of the students have left the building, and now her team has some momentum. So I think she has to tell her team, look, Villanova doesn't have their crowd anymore, so let's take advantage of this. You have the momentum. Let's go out and get them, right? So how does Villanova respond, Coop? Did the wind get taken out of their sails all of a sudden?
After the Wildcats had 3 set points for Yale, they fought off in the first. They won that 28-26. They take set 2, 25-22. Yale, 25-20, handles the 3rd set. So here we go into the 4th, and Villanova trying to get back into form here.
Yeah, a little bit more crisp on offense for Nova. That's what they need. Better setting in this set, a little bit better passing. Just connect the dots a little bit better.
Serve from Nelson gets this 4th underway. Wu for Goodnow. That misses the line. Villanova up 1-0.
Betsy Goodnow can really rip it. What a lefty. All Ivy basically every year. Just remarkable career. Top 100 recruit.
Nelson again. Barr locates. Off the free ball, here's Villanova. And there's Barr with the block and the point.
Yeah, those 50-50 battles with your two terrific middles. The difference there, you have a veteran like Gigi Barr over the freshman in McGivern. So can you win those 50-50 duels as the night goes along?
One in the fourth. Nelson for Lewis, blocked. Back to Lewis. Good now. There's a missile from Harrell, but the point's still going. Lewis still unable to terminate. And that was touched. That's Yale up 2-1.
Betsy Goodnow did everything right for Yale on that point. She had a number of good passes like that. 33 in white, making this all happen for Yale. That's why she's their best player. And Villanova almost snuck in a point there. Look at Goodnow again, Coop, making one play after another.
Goodnow with 11 digs, 2 blocks, 4 kills. A little bit of everything. Wildcats with the point. Abby Harrell leading the way for Villanova. 15 kills for number 10.
And you have to throw those change-up shots at teams to keep them out of system rather than always hard shots. You have to mix in your tips. They know the deal.
15 kills, 14 digs for Harrell. Pretty impressive double-double. Barr tried the finesse, and it works out.
So you see the finesse game a little bit in the last minute.
Just the fingertips does the trick.
I always appreciate pigtails as a commentator because it's easy to spot. It's a signature look, right? Nobody else is rocking it anymore.
Anything that helps with player identification, always a fan of. Big block for the Wildcats. They swarmed Kat Young as it was her and McGivern that went up for the block.
That physical blocking team for Nova. You saw it last year. Now you add in 2 good blockers in Merton and McGivern for this year. Should be even better.
And there's a point for Yale. So we're seeing Mendoza out here for the fourth, and with good reason. She was instrumental in Yale claiming that third set. After not playing the first 2 sets, Isabella Mendoza with 5 kills in the third. Off of Young, kept alive by Nelson. Mendoza was denied. Here's Wu. Abraham sets the middle, and when Abraham takes a swing, chances are she's going to do what you need her to.
But you can't forget Betsy Goodnow, who's been just passing so well. She's not only their best player, she's their best passer, too.
Wildcats will take a point on the service error. And seeing Goodnow do a whole lot for this team, and it starts with her. When we spoke with Erin Appelman, she was the first player pointed out, and if you were to just look at a stat sheet, you probably figure she would, but it was cool to hear her say it all the same. And as consistent as they come now in her junior year out of Lenexa, Kansas. Mendoza, she has really been a spark plug
Yeah, and you can't tell she's going to use a hard shot, a medium shot, kind of a three-quarter shot. She's mixing up the velocity, and I think that's confusing Villanova a little bit, what to expect.
Wu long on the serve. One of the things we've talked about a number of times in terms of the losses for Yale, that service game, something that have to reconstruct a little bit with some of the players lost to graduation. A lot of service errors tonight between both teams. Yale with the point.
But they still have enough front row attackers. They're going to still beat up on a lot of the teams they play like usual and dominate and have another big year. They're obviously so talented and well coached again.
Goodnow's 5th kill. Harrell doing her thing. Kill number 16 for Abby Harrell.
Yeah. We're not shy of talent tonight. There's some major volleyball players here this weekend. Even though Fairfield lost a lot, they still have enough back. And High Point, all their new kids, they look the part. Boy, they have so much length and size. It's incredible.
And that serve hugged the line. It's an ace. Campbell McKinnon back to work. 7-7. Villanova's second ace. Both have come from McKinnon. And that was a double bounce.
At times, Campbell McKinnon looks like your best server, which is crazy for a middle, right? Especially in the U.S. game. And you can leave her in there, and she does the job. You've seen her pass well out of the back row.
Point set, up to 8 kills. Mihailovic is in again at libero for Yale. I've seen her sparingly as Villanova wins that point.
So the more Ava Harris plays, the better she'll get. And just like Alyssa Nelson, she got better and better as the season went on last year. And same deal, you're playing another freshman setter, and she'll just get better and better. Again, Ava Harris, big-time club scene. She's college ready.
Serve from Nelson. We'll set the outside there. Good now. So it's going to be a Yale point on the violation. Bulldogs by 1. Nelson for Harrell. Overpass. Harrell again. That was wide. Bulldogs first to hit double figures in the 4th.
And obviously Abby Harrell's having another big night, hitting over 300, double-digit kills. Missed it that time. Yale's block has been formidable enough just to mess your shot up a little bit at times. Maybe you have to overthink your shot a little bit.
Betsy Goodnow. Oh, Nelson, great effort, but no dice.
Betsy Goodnow is a full package, total volleyball player. You see her passing, it's been excellent. She terminates in the front row. It's obviously good on the service line. When you get a special right side kid who's also a lefty that does all of this, you have yourself a big time player.
Set for Lewis is blocked. And put away by the setter, Bethany Wu.
Wu is 5'10", and she's long and lanky, and she's played at a high level for a long time from the Dallas club scene. I got you.
Second kill of the night for her. Timeout Villanova. We'll be back after this.
can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Josh Steinbach, year number 19, in charge of the Villanova program. His Wildcats lead 2-1 in their first match of the Villanova Classic. Their home opening matches here on this weekend. Yale, winners of set 3, trying to claim the 4th. After the Villanova timeout, Goodnow serves it in. And it's Poinsett, who continues to really have a nice debut for the Bulldogs.
And Aria Ju, the libero, we haven't talked about her a lot. She makes a nice play on it there. Dark jersey for Yale. Wearing number 6 out of Georgia.
Yale by 5 here in the 4th. Harrell off the block, diving play. It was Wu back there, hitting the floor. Or rather, it was Park that time. Brought in defensive specialist for Yale. And the Bulldogs have another point, 14-8.
Yale has 10 kills in this set, while Villanova has just 3. So suddenly, you've lost momentum, like we said. Can Villanova recapture it?
Nelson. And out of play. It was off of Wu, and Villanova's got the point.
A smart move by Taylor Lewis. Read the play well there, and a crafty maneuver.
Here's Harrell. Serve that one to Goodnow. Called for it. And now Nelson. Back sets this time. Lewis was stuffed. And the termination from Gigi Barr.
Yale had its block set up, pin to pin that time. And Villanova kept moving it around. I think Josh Steinbach a little frustrated. His team was doing a lot right there, but into the block a little bit too much. And then Barr read the play well and eventually found a way to score. You see the block again on the pin coop. Goodnow hits another pass, of course. And Barr found the opening.
Yale 10 points away from setting up a 5th set again against this Wildcats team.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprising. Wouldn't be the first time, obviously. Really cool to see the stories about some of the coaches we've gotten to know and getting to coach against their daughters. Last year was Kirsten Berthal Booth, who obviously retired from Creighton. She got to coach against her daughter Reese, who plays for Northern Iowa. And last year, it was neat talking to Aaron Appleman about this in our chat. She got to coach against her daughter Emma, who played for College of Charleston. So it must be so nerve-wracking when you're coaching and you're playing against your kid. Emma's team got the win last year, just saying. And it's kind of neat. Emma, Aaron's daughter, is now coaching under Bob Somera at Wesleyan. And Ben Somera, of course, is the husband of Nancy Somera, who's the head coach of Fairfield, who Villanova will be playing tomorrow. And Nancy's daughter, Miley, played for Aaron Appleman at Yale just a couple years ago. So it's neat to see all these kids coaching and playing for one another. Small world, right? One big circle.
We have completed the circle in full. They have a point set, serving for Yale. And long service error.
You're only down by 5. Yes, Yale has all the momentum in this match. Can Villanova make a couple plays, get the crowd back into it a little bit more, just take over the momentum?
Villanova's already used 1 timeout. And we've talked about it a little less since the start of this one as the night has cooled things down. But the humidity, the perspiration, just had a little routine floor wipe up as we resume. And Yale and Mendoza, red hot.
Mendoza finds the openings on the court. And she's definitely earned the playing time after the intermission. Didn't play through the first 2 sets. Boy, smart player, right?
8 kills for her in that short time.
She's been one of their primary players in recent years, so it's not a surprise, but didn't get the start tonight.
And that's an ace for the Bulldogs and Gigi Barr. Yale taking command of this 4th. They faked it to McKinnon and went to Lewis. Yale in system here. Campbell McKinnon for Villanova.
Just great footwork by each team, doing their best to stay in system when the other team's putting pressure on you. Just great technique by Villanova. Just everybody getting to their spot on the floor. Just you see quickly, Lola Buck-Taylor, Nelson gets quick feet, and then a nice finish by Campbell McKinnon.
She really never stopped moving that point. And it's once again Larice Abraham. Every time you feel like you haven't called her name recently, the middle pumps down another kill for the Bulldogs. Give her 12 on the night.
Yeah, what a player. I love Abraham's game. Number 4 out of Detroit.
Ace off the tape. So it's been a strong debut for Bethany Wu.
Those were my first 2 questions for Erin when we talked with her. I said, what makes good now so good? And who's your setter, coach? And she talked about Hallie Sherlock, but I think with the recruit that Bethany Wu is, you had a feeling she might be the setter.
And unless Sherlock's wearing a different jersey, I think she's not dressed tonight. So it's been Wu who's been commanding the ship for the Bulldogs. McKinnon for Villanova. Wildcats have a long way to go, but Campbell McKinnon continues to be that energy conductor for the Wildcats.
Yeah, enough plays being made by your big stars, but remember, Yale's done a lot right with their blocking, their serve and pass game. They've been in system a lot here after intermission.
Another McKinnon kill. Last 3 points for Villanova have all been a result of her final swing.
Ava Harris, the setter on this rotation for Nova. There she is, quick set.
Faked it to McKinnon and wide by Merton. Yale 4 points away from setting up that final set between these teams that have had some really good competitions against each other in recent years. And McKinnon drops it in. Continue to go to her. Kill number 15 for Campbell McKinnon.
So 0 into the donut, right? Matches her number. To have her hit those finesse shots, what a recruit for Villanova. I don't think a lot of teams were recruiting her. I was reading an article about her, and she's saying that about her volleyball club. From what I read out of that quote is that maybe a lot of teams weren't recognizing her when she was a freshman and sophomore in high school, and then it's not like the old days where you could nab a kid when they're a 9th grader. You have to wait till 11th grade now when you talk to them in recruiting, and Villanova, right spot at the right time.
Off the service error, it is Yale serving up 22-14 as the Bulldogs are 3 points away from forcing a 5th.
And obviously, we're seeing with all the transfers nowadays, obviously recruiting rankings don't mean everything. That's why we're seeing everybody steal everybody's players nowadays, right?
Mihailovic's serve. And there's Villanova getting a point. Old reliable, Abby Harrell.
Yeah, she steals the show a lot, right? A lot of smiles on the faces when she rips one.
17th kill for the junior from Washington State. Led the team in kills each of her first 2 years here at Villanova. Showing no signs of slowing down.
Their career high is 22 kills against another Ivy team. It was against Princeton.
And that won't do the trick from Nelson. Service error, Wildcats. Yale serving.
It was a good serve, though, by Alyssa Nelson. She tried to hit the corner. Normally, you want to stay aggressive and make teams work for it.
Betsy Goodnow. Back set from Nelson, and Harrell finding the corner with authority.
Abby Harrell, always in control, isn't she, Coop?
Right you are, Nick. That is kill number 18. You mentioned her career high of 22. She's 4 off tying that. And this will bring up set point as Yale and Lauren Kellen. Rather beg your pardon, point set there.
Yeah, not exactly bad volleyball by Villanova in this set. Yale's just been really good.
Here is Ava Poinsett into the net. Villanova's still got some hope here in the 4th.
Yeah, just checking a lot of boxes for Yale. Pass, serve, block, defend, in system. Yale's gotten better in every one of those departments as the night's gone along.
There will be a 5th. Yale takes the 4th, 25-17 in convincing fashion. The Bulldogs and the Wildcats meet again. Last year we played a 5-setter in New Haven. This year it's going to go 5 at Villanova. We'll be back after this.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first? Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Second match of the Villanova Classic. First one was a 5-setter between Fairfield and High Point. Fairfield won that 3-2. Villanova and Yale are going to go 5. We start the 5th in just a moment as we look back at what's unfolded so far. The Villanova Wildcats took the first 2 sets. That was the winner from Abby Harrell in set 1. Harrell's had a monster night with 18 kills. They're going to need more from her as we go into the 5th. And then in the second, it was ultimately Goodnow going long to close that out. But Yale was able to fight their way back into this one, Nick.
We mentioned it. Yale started to pass better. Not that they were passing poorly early on in the match, but their passing is even better. And Mendoza into the lineup, doing a lot of the passing, serving, and a bag of tricks. And Bethany Wu getting better and better. Wu's been really good from Jump Street. She's had a great night. And you see, obviously, what Betsy Goodnow has done, making one play after another.
Villanova took the first 2 sets, 28-26 and then 25-22. Third went to Yale, 25-20. Fourth, 25-17. So I've been with you for 4. Let's do a 5th. Sam Cooperman and Nick Montagna on the call with Dennis Smith, Mark Sante, and our entire team. Brendan Costello with you here on this Friday night on the main line. You're seeing number 30 on Yale in your picture. That's Izzy Mendoza. She has been huge for the Bulldogs in this comeback.
Yeah, maybe they will have her as a starter come the rest of the season. But this is what the early part of the season is about, tinkering with your lineup.
Free ball here for Yale to attack. Wu sets the middle. Wildcats keep the point alive despite Barr's work. But it is Yale who will take the first.
So Josh, talk about tinkering. There's Marley Smith, who's played right side before. And look, you've gotten good production out of Taylor Lewis tonight. But Josh going with Marley Smith as the other right side with your 6-2 rotation. So switching things up a bit.
Marley Smith, 29 in Navy for the Wildcats. Campbell McKinnon pumped up. Kill number 16 for the sophomore.
So Taylor Lewis and Alyssa Nelson back in there. Nelson the center, Lewis the right side, McKinnon another play. And putting a different player in there, it makes the other team have to think a little bit more and scramble. Uh-oh, they have a new player in there.
Serve Nelson. Block. McKinnon and Lewis go up. And the Wildcats lead 2-1.
You got a very clean win over what I think is a good Santa Clara team, is well coached by Aaron Lindsay every year. And you won at Notre Dame. Josh won back there when they were on ESPN back in 2011, I want to say.
Serve here from Nelson. Wu back set. It's a little offline. Good now adjusted. Young, long, was it touched? No. Point Yale.
And obviously, Yale knows how to win. They've been a winning program for a long time. They were in a lot of 5-setters early last year. The first 2 weekends, Yale played in 5 5-setters a season ago.
And that's probably as good a preparation as you can have as you get ready for conference play. And off the tape and through for good now.
Yeah, better to be good now than lucky, right?
It was coming at some point, right?
Yep.
You could only hold off for so long.
He's from Kansas City, like a lot of the players we're seeing tonight. And we get that Super Bowl rematch in week 2 next week, Coop. I didn't know it was going to be that early.
Yeah, always get a chance to tee that up. Always going to get a lot of attention. As good now. Big swing that time from Kat Young. McKinnon drops it in. Campbell McKinnon taking over.
Yeah, she took over that Big East tournament win against UConn. It was evident when you watched. I remember Josh telling me later on in December, Campbell just won that match for us. He mentioned it again in our preseason chat the other day.
Off the Ava Harris serve for Villanova. And McKinnon once again.
Kat Young with a great pass. Alyssa Nelson got the terrific assists. Campbell McKinnon taking over.
4-3 Wildcats. Off Young's serve. And that strays long. No. It was touched.
Deflection. They say review it. Josh is reviewing it.
They put the card down without hesitation.
I think they missed this one. All Villanova's players immediately said challenge that.
Richard Dugan and Mike Mon are the officials. Was there a deflection here? May have grazed the fingertips there. And the call on the floor is that it was touched. Honestly, it was hit so hard from points that it's hard to tell. It's going over there so quickly. You mentioned, Nick, that the players were so confident in calling for that review.
Yeah, and volleyball players are not liars. We've made that very clear, right?
Correct. But for everyone in unison that quickly, some of that, of course, being the situation, you're in a 5th set, and you have an opportunity to flip things with that call. I don't know if there's anything that's going to change the call.
Correct. I don't know if there's enough there to change it, but there are many angles they look at.
So we'll see if they have a view that can tell definitively. As of now, that's Ava Poinset's 11th kill. First year out of San Diego. She's going to be going home in a couple of weeks when the Bulldogs head west. Her first performance of her career. 11 kills and counting. 6 digs. Not too shabby. An ace as well.
Yeah, and they needed a player like that to step in after graduating so many key players.
And they say it missed. Villanova wins the challenge.
When you get that many players speak up immediately, that's a very good sign that Villanova had the right intent there, that they knew what was coming.
2-point lead instead of a tie score. Massive. Quick response from Gigi Barr.
Not surprising that Gigi Barr is hitting over 400.
And look who returns to the floor for Yale. Isabella Mendoza. Long on the serve from Poinsett. Yale's 14th service error to match Villanova. 28 combined.
And Yale has 8 aces, so they've won the serving game. They've served a little bit tougher.
McKinnon floated one back row. Nice adjustment from Wu. And that's another one put away. Barr directs it.
Yeah, we have middles who can serve in this match. We've seen it all night.
Gigi Barr serving for the Bulldogs. Wildcat lead at 1. They mop the floor quickly. Home stretch. Nelson. Harrell. Point Villanova. McKinnon and Harrell each with 18 kills.
Incredible performance against Santa Clara for Abby Harrell. 16 kills and no errors. My goodness, they had no answer for her.
That kill was Harrell's 19th. And Abraham right back to work for the Bulldogs.
That's a shame. McGivern and Abby Harrell were there for the stuff and couldn't nail it. And Abraham's a veteran player.
And we haven't called her name in a while, but Reagan McGivern when the time's right. 8-6.
They haven't given McGivern a ton of swings, and you have a very deep lineup, so it makes sense, right? You're going to feed Abby Harrell and your pins a lot, and Campbell McKinnon. But Reagan McGivern can score.
8-6 Wildcats. 5th set coming down to the wire.
You can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. We're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
8-6 Villanova, set 5. Who's going to take the cake? Home opener for the Wildcats. Match number 1 for the Yale Bulldogs. And Villanova serving here with Abby Harrell.
Coop, the Penn State-Kentucky game was on Fox tonight in prime time. Just went final, top 5 battle. Penn State struggling a little bit. A lot of new players. Kentucky sweeps them 3-0. So a much different looking Penn State team this year. Narrowly got by Kansas the other week. Lost a couple last weekend.
Woo, the adjustment. Abraham does not win the point. It is Villanova after a 4th touch who will have the point and up 3.
It's nice to see Villanova's team. Still pretty young, but they play like a veteran team because they played a lot of volleyball. And they're responding here, Coop, in the 5th. They responded in that 5th set at Notre Dame. They responded against UConn in 5 sets in the playoffs last year. You can tell this team now has been through the grinder, and they've already learned how to win.
Erin Appelman talking to her Yale Bulldogs. They've got a date with High Point tomorrow. That'll be a 7 p.m. start for the Bulldogs. As Villanova will have the first match tomorrow. That's against Fairfield at 4.
So I'm sure Ryan Meek will be watching this one. I'm sure he's watching it right now. And what better scout when a team hasn't played yet to watch their opening match, right? So you'll be locked into this one. What a guy. I love Ryan Meek.
Marley Smith out there for the Wildcats. This is the first set they've put her out there. junior out of Manhattan Beach, California. Had a big Villanova Classic her rookie year. She was all-tournament team back in 23. As Harrell serves it away. Good now, rescues it off the net. Abraham on the ricochet. Kat Young for Villanova, the point.
Young players, it doesn't matter. They're making the plays. Ava Harris, the freshman. Good ball to Kat Young.
Service error on Harrell. That was a nice run for the Wildcats to build up that lead to 4. It now slips to 3. Young, the third Wildcat to hit double-figure kills tonight. Off Mendoza's serve. Harris sets. Harrell blocked. Abraham.
Abraham with marvelous timing that time, Coop.
She kind of looked at her hands after and said, how did I just do that? Timing worked out for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the percentages that Abraham and Gigi Barr hit last year are just off the charts.
Kat Young again, kill number 11.
Another year, she's gotten way stronger. Number 9, worked on her game a ton, as we've said all evening. These kids have worked on their individual games in the offseason.
There is Young out of Flower Mound, Texas. All tournament at the Yale invite last year. Harris for Harrell. And a Villanova point. Wildcats are 3 away from winning a 5-setter.
20 kills for Abby Harrell, Coop.
One of the best performances of her career. Villanova trying to close this out. Yale talk shop.
You can see Abby Harrell has had a good night no matter what. There's plenty of good that Villanova's done tonight, but we've seen Yale just play better volleyball as the night has gone on. But in a 5th set, can you find ways to win? You're seeing back row attacking from Abby Harrell, and it's worked cleanly. Even though Abraham got her, there's a lot to like with these two teams. There's a lot of talent, excellent staffs.
Villanova has taken 21 more swings than Yale tonight. Harrell with 44 total attacks.
Nobody saw 10 years ago, 2015, nobody saw the NCAA tournament coming at the beginning of that year. It turned into that year. You beat Creighton, you got in as an at-large team. So it's 10 years later, right? Why not? People love anniversaries. This is a good team. Just saying. You know, Yale, Fairfield, and High Point, they're probably going to get back to the NCAA tournament again.
Villanova trying to start the season 3-0. Lola Buck-Taylor serves. Wu had the dig. Kat Young.
Villanova has passed very well in this 5th set. Lola Buck-Taylor doing her job. And Kat Young off the tape.
Villanova 2 points away from finishing the job.
And I've talked to plenty of coaches that are on selection committees. When they go and look at your resume, oh, they beat a conference champ from a season ago. That's a big win on your resume when it's all said and done, right? Because it's hard to beat Creighton or Marquette in a conference tournament. Even though a lot of those All-Americans are gone and new coaches, they're still very good teams with Ava Martin and the new transfers for Creighton. And Marquette will be good again. They're always good. But that's how Villanova got in 2015 in at-large bid, because they beat Creighton. That win punched their ticket.
Got a win over Notre Dame and Santa Clara so far this year. Can they beat Yale to start 3-0? So the Wildcats have a 5-point lead here in the 5th. Yale had 3 set points in set number 1. They couldn't close the door. Villanova found its way back and won that 28-26. They won by 3 in the second. Yale has won the 3rd and 4th sets. And right now it's Villanova 2 points away from victory. Buck Taylor misses the mark on the serve. And it's back with the Bulldogs.
It's amazing. These teams have gone 5 sets, 3 straight times.
They switch liberos here. Aria Ju comes off. And Mila Mihailovic was the one that just served it. And there's McKinnon to set up match point. Campbell McKinnon has been electric.
That's a new career high for Campbell McKinnon with 19 kills.
On the serve of Alyssa Nelson. Good now, misses. It was not touched, it's over.
It's over, no challenge. Villanova wins it, Coop. They stay unbeaten.
3-0 to start 2025. The Wildcats take the 5th, 15-9, and start off the Villanova Classic 1-0. So you go back to 2019, last time they beat the Bulldogs. Last year they came close. This year they do it on their home floor in an energetic environment here on this Friday night.
So you beat 3 really good teams so far, right? 3 excellent teams that are well coached too. I mean, talk about big time coaches with Rockwell and Lindsay, and Coach Appleman's been doing it a long time. And you get 2 more tests. These are good tests. We want to see big matches. This is a great field we have this year. And Fairfield tomorrow. They're always good every year. So you'll get another test tomorrow. Big shout out to Brian Murray. His dad Jim just passed away. Legendary former GM of the Eagles. Brian's the man. We love him. Best wishes to he and his family. Longtime administrator for this program. What a scene for Villanova. Football opener, you'll be on the call for that one tomorrow, Coop. This is a good weekend to get things started, right?
Big weekend on the Villanova Sports Network. Yes, indeed, Nick Montagna. Yes, indeed. Wildcat Volleyball back in action here tomorrow at 4. Where you are right now is where you're going to watch it tomorrow. As you mentioned, football at 6 tomorrow on Flow. A big weekend on the main line, and the fans are loving it. Nice start with the 15-9 5th as the Wildcats beat the Bulldogs in 5. For Dennis Smith, Mark Sante, and our entire crew working here tonight at the Nevin Fieldhouse, Sam Cooperman and Nick Montagna saying so long and good night. Wildcats win it 3-2 over Yale. Have a good one, everybody.